What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to show you what's new in Linux Mint 19.3, codenamed Tricia. This is the latest version of Linux Mint released just yesterday, December the 18th. First things first, go over to linuxmint.com. You'll be on the home page, and here it tells you about how to upgrade to Mint 19.3. So if you're running an earlier version of Mint, either 19 or 19.2, you can follow this guide that they have here. But in this video, I'm going to be showing you as if you didn't have an earlier version of Mint installed. So click on the Downloads tab here, and then you have a few options for how you can download Linux Mint Tricia. Of course, you can do either 32-bit or 64-bit. And you can select either the Cinnamon, the Mate, or the XFCE desktop environment. I'm going to be showing you guys how to do Mate, but the install steps and the new features in Linux Mint are pretty much the same regardless of whichever version you choose. So go ahead and download your desktop environment of choice. I've already taken the liberty of downloading mine. And then I'm going to bring up VirtualBox here and show it off to you guys. If you're installing Mint on hardware instead of doing it in VirtualBox, these steps are also more or less going to be the same. The only difference is if you're going to do this on hardware, you have to take that ISO file that you downloaded from Linux Mint and you have to burn it to a USB stick. And then you need to boot from that USB stick. Most likely you're going to have to change whatever your boot order is in your BIOS. And then once you boot from it, then the steps that I'm going to be showing you in this video are going to be the same for how to do it in hardware. And for you folks that are in the virtual machine, I don't know if this same thing is going to happen to you, but I noticed when I first tried to start up Linux Mint in VirtualBox that it didn't boot, and the only thing that I changed was the video memory. I think by default it was set to like 16 megs or something like that, and that just caused it to hang there. So I cranked it up to 128 megs and I enabled 3D acceleration, and it was able to boot after that. So if you have problems booting, try changing this to 128 megs, enable 3D acceleration, and chances are it's going to work. So let's go ahead and start it up. And this might just take a little while to start because I have it installed on a hard disk instead of an SSD this time. We have this new start page and this new logo. It's more round than it used to be. If I remember correctly, it was either a square or it was kind of a like if a square and a circle had a baby, like a square with sort of curvy edges. I don't know. I like the new logo. All right, so that came up faster than I thought it would. So you see that we have this nice new desktop background, and by default, my start key is able to bring up the start menu here. I think that's another thing that they change, because in the older versions of Mint I was using, I always had to manually set that up to get my start key to work correctly. So that's really cool. And there's a few new programs that ship with Linux Mint. So the first one is this System Reports program. And what this does is it gives you a high-level view of your system. Here in the detected problems area, this will mostly let you know if there's any driver updates that are available, or if there's any language packs or media codecs missing, or any type of miscellaneous stuff. Like here, it wants me to set the root password and install codecs, but that's just because we're booted into the live machine right now. There's not actually anything really installed on this system. We're just taking a look at all the different programs. There's system information, and this is pretty much the same as, I actually think it's called the same thing on Windows too, system information or sysinfo. this just gives you sort of a high-level overview of everything that's going on in the system. Oh, I think that this is a newer kernel too. Yeah, I don't think the older versions of Mint were using the 5.0 kernel, so that's pretty interesting. And then you have this crash reports tab. This just gives you info about anything that's crashed on your system. It's, I mean, you could do the same thing from the terminal, but Mint is supposed to be one of those easy for beginner distros, so it just shows everything inside of a nice GUI here. And there's been some program replacements as well. So Celluloid Celluloid has replaced XPlayer, which used to be the default media player in Linux Mint. And Gnote has replaced Tomboy as the default note-taking app. And lastly, Drawing, which is an app I've never used before, has replaced GIMP as the default image editor. So let me see, this looks an awful lot like MS Paint. But they don't have the spray paint option. Man, I miss the spray paint option. That was my favorite option to use to draw in MS Paint. Oh man, my Z is looking rough. Please subscribe. There we go. Do it for the smiley face man here. Alrighty, so enough fun and games. Let's get into actually installing this bad boy. So on your system, you'll see up here you have this icon, Install Linux Mint. Because like I said, we're just in a live instance right now. We haven't actually installed it into our system. And the install is pretty straightforward. Go ahead and choose your language. English is the default. And yeah, we're speaking US English. If you're speaking some other type of English, or, well, not speaking, for your keyboard layout, if you're using some other type of, different keyboard layout, go ahead and choose that here. And this gives you the option to install the third-party software for graphics, Wi-Fi, etc. I highly recommend installing this, especially if you're using an NVIDIA graphics card, because you're going to have to use proprietary drivers. That's just, unfortunately, how it is in the Linux world for people with NVIDIA graphics cards. And then you hit continue. You want to go ahead and erase the disk and install Linux Mint. If you were dual booting this, or, well, not dual booting this, if you wanted to have Linux Mint installed on the same physical hard drive, so if you wanted to just make a logical partition and install Mint alongside Windows or alongside some other Linux distro, then you want to do something else and go ahead and set that up. I'm in a VM, so of course I'm just going to erase this disk. And then we're going to go ahead and write the changes to the disk. And from here, it actually starts doing the install, which is really great. It saves you some time so that you can go ahead and pick everything. And say our name is Kenny. We'll go ahead and use our super secret password, and we'll log in automatically. Why not? And you also have the choice here of encrypting your home folder. We'll hit continue, and then this is going to take a few minutes to install because, like I said, I'm doing it on my hard disk today. So I'll go ahead and pause the video so that you guys don't have to watch this boring install screen. Alright, so our installation has finished, and I'm going to select continue testing because I don't think I changed my boot options in my virtual machine. So if I do restart now, it's going to just boot back into this live environment. So let's shut her down, and then we will manually change that option. Yeah, it's removed. Okay, so let's change, where do we do it? Here we go. Let's make the hard disk be first. Hit OK, and then start. for those of you, again, who are installing this on hardware, you would basically have to do the same thing, but you would do it in your BIOS. So inside of your BIOS, make sure that you change the boot option to be whatever hard drive you are installing it to. And we have this nice new welcome screen. This looks really good. Let's go ahead and log into it. And, you know, I just have to say, I really like the fact that with Mint, you don't have to really fool around with VirtualBox guest editions. I don't know if it does it automatically, but anytime I'm always working with, I don't know what you would call them, I guess more minimalist distros like Arch or Gentoo, you always have to mess around with VirtualBox guest editions in order to get it to actually be full screen. And let's see, I'm running without hardware acceleration. I'm pretty sure that this is more of a thing to do with the fact I'm running VirtualBox and not so much Linux Mint itself. Let's just see what it says here. Because you guys may have this option as well, so it might be something that you need to manually change. And yeah, nothing shows up here. So if you installed it to hardware and you get that message, just go ahead and click on it and then select your video card so that you can actually have faster video rendering in your system. Alrighty guys, well that's Linux Mint 19.3, codename Tricia. Let me know what you guys think about it. Is this a great edition of Linux Mint, or is this a crappy edition of Linux Mint?